Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. So, today is Breakfast with Glenn. What do I have for breakfast? Well, I'm lazy in the context that I don't like to chew my food. And B, I like digestibility. I like things that are highly digestible. They get in there and just actually within, 15 minutes, half an hour have gone through the digestion cycle. So I throw all of my things for breakfast and usually the last meal of the day before I go to bed into a blender and just bzzz. Now I don't throw a hamburger or hot dog or whatever else I'm going to eat in there, but I try to have a liquid meal for breakfast, and I usually do like 98% of the time, unless I'm traveling or something and it's difficult to do. And it usually comes out something like that. He's like, yeah, what is that? Well, it's a little bit of everything. There's some CoQ10 in there. There's all kinds of little things that I buy in powder form that I add in there. But primarily this is like 8 to 10 ounces of kale, which is one of the most highly dense and nutritious plants. It has protein in it as well. I mean, look it up online. Look up kale and spinach side by side, and like kale is multiple times more dense in nutrition and even more nutrition, like a wider variety of nutrition. And then there's like a whey protein in here, and I put some organic kefir as well in there. So everything in here is organic except for the whey protein. The whey protein is non-GMO. I bounce back and forth between buying the organic one and the purely organic non-GMO one and just the GMO one. Depends on how much I buy at a time. So, and this is good. The whey protein, it has stevia in it, and there's no artificial flavors, blah, blah, blah. And it's speculated that usually within half an hour this is bioavailable and processed into the body. So you're getting all your amino acids, you're getting all your proteins or your enzymatic activities in one nice little scoop. And it's a nice vanilla. They have chocolate if you like chocolate. They have plain if you want to add other flavorings or things of your own devise. So depending on what I'm going to do, if I'm going to work out or if I'm going to go out and maybe work in the yard or something, we've been doing a lot of re-landscaping and stuff at the house. And I'll have one scoop, 30 grams, or I'll have 2 scoops for 60 grams. Depends on how much I'm going to do and how many calories I think I'm going to burn off. So, I throw everything into the blender. This is after the fact. It starts to separate, after. Sometimes I'll throw like half of an avocado in there. It acts as a wonderful binder and binds it all together. And you're getting all your natural fat. So what's in this is like 8 ounces of kale, all my little mixtures of different things that I put in there. I'll probably put extra arginine in there for me because I like, if I'm going to work out or whatnot, I want a little extra circulation and muscle growth. I also put some organic flaxseed oil in there. Everything's organic in there. The whey protein goes back and forth. Now, I try to keep it for a long time non-dairy and be more of, for like 6 months I went non-dairy with no dairy at all, and my body doesn't like that. It likes dairy products, and it seems to need dairy products for whatever reason. So the kefir, organic kefir in there, so you're getting some probiotics. You're getting at least a 12 strain of probiotic in there every morning, and a lot of those probiotics, they have different jobs. Some are for immune system building, and other ones do this, and one eats mold, and one does this and that, and helps the rebuild the lining of the stomach. One kills yeast. They all have their jobs to do. It's quite tasty. So besides the extra enzymes and stuff I might add, there's the whey protein, usually like 30 to 60 grams. There are like half of an avocado depending on my mood, and I don't know, I just pour flax protein in there, or flaxseed oil in there. I don't know exactly how much I put in there, usually a lot. So it's a lot of fat, but it's oils, and especially like flax and codseed oil and stuff like that. Oils in general have a higher ATP unit of energy than a carbohydrate or a protein. So like an oil unit of calorie has like an 8 or 9 ATP, where like a carbohydrate might have like a 5 or a 7, unless you're getting into a sugar or something like that, that might have a higher unit of energy, but it converts into fat faster. Where fat, if you have fat and carbohydrates, like some of the carbohydrates and sugars that are in the kefir, they bind together and they burn off slow over time instead of coming up and down. If you put a fat in there, like the avocado and some flaxseed oil, it burns very steady. And if you're going to go work out or do other things, you have more, like, you have more, I forget the name of it. It's the sugary fat that goes in, it's the sugar and fat that goes into the muscles for later nutrition. Like, and it's better stored in the muscles so that you can actually recall it later. But that's what I have for breakfast, and that's what I have. It's not dinner, but it's like the last meal of the day. You know, it's a very light meal. It's like an hour or 2 hours before bedtime usually, and I'll have that so that the stomach is usually as empty as possible. And if I'm going to have something right before bedtime, I'll just have like 8 ounces of kefir, because it has a lot of calcium in it, and calcium is really good for allowing the blood-brain barrier, and for the biochemical and the mechanisms of going to sleep, melatonin, all the stuff that goes on, helps you go to sleep a little faster. At least I've noticed, especially for myself. I used to take calcium supplements, but you know, all of those are not, A, they're expensive, and B, not all of them are very bioavailable and very good for you. So I tried to find an organic source for it, and the kefir was a really good organic source. It has probiotics, so you're getting all this stuff before bedtime. So that's like breakfast and dinner, or before bedtime with Glenn. That's what I do, and that's what I have. You know, if you don't drink it and get it done, it does separate. If you put the avocado in there, it doesn't separate, it stays. But it takes a while to blend it, because avocado is kind of thick. Like half of an avocado is really good for this. Talking about it, I'm really like, I'm starving Marvin now. So I just wanted to share that. Now you can make that with the chocolate. You can make that. There's a strawberry one. There's tons of different brands. I've used this one on and off for years. I'll alternate. There's like no carbohydrates in this one. It's like a 0 or a 1. And my body, for some reason, doesn't like carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are bad. And I alternate between this one and the egg one, because it has one for eggs. But there's a variety of different ones that are like this. There's another one, I forgot the name of it offhand. But it's purely organic source, and the price is pretty much the same as this one. I buy this in the 80 ounces, 5-pound bags, because it's a lot cheaper per serving, which is what most of your food meals, what you're looking for, you know, is a cheaper cost per serving. So that's what I do. You know, I add a lot of different things. I take other vitamins and other types of nutritional supplements, and if I can, I open them up and put them in here so that I get, instead of one huge dose that the body might not use all of in one shot, I open the capsules and I put them in there. And then you're not getting, even with these you know, these vegan types of capsules, they're not, you know, they're extra things the body needs to process. If you don't need to put them in there, I literally just empty the capsules and I toss the capsules out, because, you know, there has to be things in there that aren't, it's artificial, it's manufactured, so it's not, you know, it's not perfect to your body. And I buy as many things as I can in bulk, like this and some of the other extra amino acids, like and other things that I add, like arginine and whatnot, that I put back into the diet. And I put them in there so that as I'm drinking it, and maybe it takes me an hour to finish it because I'm doing other things, I'm getting a small dose of everything over time. So maybe I just got like 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams of CoQ10 with that one drink, instead of getting like 200 or 400 or whatever I put in there at the time. And it's getting processed and it's bioavailable, but your body's uptaking it faster. So if you put like X amount of CoQ10 or all these other things all at once, your body might just spill that off because you don't need it all at that one time, and might not be bioavailable. And there's also a large synergistic process of things that go on in the body, like when you eat certain things, and you take in CoQ10 or any other vitamins and minerals, or like extra iron or zinc or selenium, if you don't have things in proportion, like zinc and selenium really like and have a synergistic effect with each other. So if you don't have these proportions with each other, and you're dumping a whole bunch of larger doses in there all at once, sometimes your body can't process them properly, or they're not, they leach extra things out of the body. They just don't behave in the way that they actually 100% should. So I find getting smaller bits over time, and then, once I'm done with this, I will take it and I'll just run it through for a moment and just reblend it just to refresh it, and then I'll pour up another one. Maybe this will take me 10-15 minutes. Maybe I'll finish it all at once. I don't know. It depends on how hungry I am. And then I'll start getting to the things that I want to do, and then I'll get to my workout within the next hour or so, once this is actually in the body and well processed. So it gets in there really slowly. It gets bioavailable over time. Put in the things that you feel that your body needs, and then you can kind of fine tune it over time. And the flavor, the vanilla, is actually really, really good. And the kale isn't harsh at all. Like 8 ounces of kale twice a day. I might do a third time if I have a workout, or if I'm working out in the yard or doing some like heavy lifting. I'll put another one in there because it's very light. I don't try to do a lot of heavy stuff after it, because there's some dairy in there. So to be out in the heat or do a lot of physical activity, I found my body doesn't really like that, putting dairy in and then just doing a whole bunch of stuff. So that's what I do, and I just wanted to share that. Thank you very much for joining me again. This is Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching life, business, and spiritual, and also retreats. Boys and girls, don't forget retreats. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. And thank you very much for joining me. Have a fantastic day.